Alrighty, welcome back. If you are here for the preseason podcast, you're in the right place. Back with Chris. We're going to talk about last year, what happened, with New York winning the championship, and talk about what we think is going to happen this year. Definitely some big trades in the off season. So I think some different looks for a couple different teams, right?
Yeah. Be exciting new season.
Yeah. How are you tonight, my friend Chris?
Well, just got back from the lake, so I had to go rescue the pontoon boat this weekend. So that was fun.
Yeah. More flooding in Vermont.
Yeah.
It's a yearly tradition now. So, all right, let's get things started because we know this takes a minute to complete. And last year's champion finally bringing it back to the ice conference, Matt and the New York Griffins. Matt had a really good team last year. As usual, he's been one of the more bold. He's not afraid to trade. Made some big moves, moved away some assets, and assembled a really good team after kind of being at the bottom of the conference for a little bit, right? He was, I
Yeah.
think, dead last in 2008. He moved up to fifth last year. So,
He struggled for a
um,
bit. Yeah, 52 and 110 in 2008. So,
yeah, 2 years later, put that team together, and he's a champion for the second time, our second two-time champion. Of course, the other one was Jason, who's no longer in the league. So Matt technically is the king of the league right now because he has the most championships.
well said. Well said.
Yep. Let's take a look at his team this year. He added a pretty big piece in the offseason from the Huron, and that's his left fielder, Pat Farrow. Pat Farrow, of course, has been one of the top players in the league since he came in.
Yes. Yeah.
Five-time All-Star, three-time Silver Slugger, and just a
Was he the rookie of the year? And he was rookie of the year in 2006.
that's right, yeah. I think that was the year like him and I think also Victor Rivera came up with. It could
Yeah.
have been like either one. But
So another piece. So he won the championship and making it stronger. So
yeah, I mean, look at his lineup. I mean, he's got a stacked team. He
yeah,
definitely could be right back there in the conference championship, maybe the winner of the conference, depending on what we look at here today. But Ryan Roach, let's just take a look at some of these guys. Ryan Roach, he's one of the best center fielders in the game.
oh yeah.
He had 5 WAR last season, and that was in his, I think, his rookie campaign.
Nope.
Maybe he didn't get.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, 58 games in 2009. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
this
We
is
do rookie of the year voting in game, right? So I don't know how it kind of judges guys like this. They may
oh
have considered him a rookie last year in the game.
yeah, yeah.
But he's a future star, one of the Roach brothers, all-star Roach brothers.
Yeah, we got nothing but good roaches in this league. So
Yeah, Pete Spooner, top shortstop in the league, and that's in an important position, right?
yeah, very important position. Hard to strike out. Looks like.
Yeah. I mean, the big move he made last year on his way to the championship was, if we do a championship podcast, we probably have to do that soon. Was Chad Keys. He traded for Chad Keys from Sean in Atlanta, who just vacated his GM ship.
2000.
But
Oh, he was the MVP
if
last
you
year.
remember, no, 2 years ago he was the
Oh,
MVP.
2000. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure.
Yep, he
Math,
had
math's hard.
7 WAR. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He definitely regressed last year, but he still had a really nice season, and he's like a nice player to have in the lineup.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other big trade that he made in the off season here was to get Willie Fonseca from Las Vegas, his new ace. And Fonseca is exactly that. He's
Yeah.
been really, really good since he came into the league. Looks like he didn't win Pitcher of the Year last year. I'm
Uh,
terrible with memory of who did, but
no, he's got no accolades.
1985.
He's a two-time All-Star. Not no real accolades, but really decent pitching, which is hard to come by in our league. I feel like.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not really sure why he's only a two-time. That's kind of just like some snubbing, in my opinion.
When
I mean, he's had look at his career stats in the pitching stats page. He's
yeah, yeah,
pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
I would
five
take this all day.
WAR.
You know, I'm a pretty suffering franchise. I haven't seen a good pitcher in a long, but
He's averaged 30 WAR throughout his career. So
he went
yeah,
23-2 in 2006.
yeah, crazy. Just didn't win him. Yeah,
He's just not very popular. The fans don't like him. Doesn't go to All-Star games. He's outspoken. That must
yeah,
be it.
it must be
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Must be his political views. Gary Smith, and I mean, we got to talk about Gary Smith. We got to give Gary Smith has been the New York staple, right? He's
Yeah,
35 years old. He's from the inaugural draft, I believe.
yeah, first overall pick.
And he's probably a future Hall of Famer. If you look at his batting
Yeah,
stats page, he's up to almost 60 WAR
well, I mean,
on the
his
career.
accolades
He's
speak for
never.
it as
It's kind
well.
of interesting. He's never led the league in any statistical category.
No, no, batting stats. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's
He
got no red paint on there,
no red paint.
but very solid career. And you know, I think he'd have my vote if he was on the ballot.
He's got probably got a lot of red paint for New York, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta love those lifers, right? Those guys that stay with an organization too for a long time. He's got two championships with New York,
Yeah,
and they're like a decade apart, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. 2004 and 2010.
All right, not exactly a decade, but
6 years. You
yeah,
know,
some good space there.
his kids are old enough to remember this one. So
Yep.
yeah,
And then he did have a free agent signing, Tom Larson. He brought him in. Larson had a really good season, like 4 WAR season last year with Galveston in Montreal. I think he was traded maybe at one point. Looks like he was traded. Um, but look at his lineup. It's what's that? Five lefties out of the nine in the road lineup. And
yeah. It's
we're not spending. Yeah, go ahead.
5 out of 4. Yeah, it's Is he? What's his park? Is this park lefty friendly? That's the question.
His park's pretty neutral, to be honest. Definitely home run friendly for lefties, actually. Oh, and average. You're right. It is very lefty friendly. So Matt knows what he's doing in terms of building his team and shaping his team. You know,
Huh. Interesting.
sneaky, very sneaky.
Sneaky.
Um, and yeah, so I like his pitching. Fonseca's the gem, right? But his pitching's pretty good. I don't think it's going to be like top pitching in the league, but it's going to be good enough with basically like a murderer's row of
Yeah.
offense.
Willie
I feel like his
Fonts.
offense is pretty comparable to some of the Huron teams we've seen over the last few years, or the Las Vegas teams that have underperformed repeatedly.
Yeah. I mean, solid enough. He's gonna be contending, I guess, again this year. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Yep, definitely a pretty nice window for him, I think.
Yeah, he
Um,
snuck his way back in.
I did look at his contract page. It's funny, he's got Gary Smith on a super friendly deal after this year. So I wonder if Gary Smith is going to be declining. Sometimes I think there's like some behind the code that's happening there. Like when a guy just all of a sudden takes a $16 million pay cut. But maybe that was just like let me look at it. Maybe it was just a well created contract. No, it's an extension. So either he's given the hometown discount because he's been there for a decade, or he's going to take a dead hit. One of the two. And his biggest contract is Chad Keys, which again, Chad Keys took a big dev hit. He's a first baseman, so if they need to pay some of these free agents coming up, like Pete Spooner or Gonzalez, to keep this run going, that might be a problem. But you know, again, Matt hasn't been afraid to just trade everything away and
Yeah,
make it work out in a way. So he's probably going to be competitive.
yeah,
He's got Fonseca on the steal this year too, 12 million for Fonseca, and then it looks like he's extended after that for 28 million a year, or 26 million a year, excuse me.
Anything else we want to look at for New York?
I don't think so. That was a lot, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. pretty good one. You're
Yeah.
just
There'll be
gushing
more
over New
boring things
York's
that,
team.
that suck, right? So there's a
Were you only gushing over New York's team because he beat your brother in the championship and you just really
he's definitely
appreciate
definitely a pat in the back. Yep,
it? I knew it.
definitely a pat in the back for that one. So, all right, let's go on to the next team. That was Boston, I think. They were second last year. They had 90 wins.
Boston is
1972.
let's see. Yep, second. Second one, 90 and 72. Got another Roach brother here.
Yes. Malik Roach, best catcher in the league, according to the league rankings page.
Yep.
I don't know. Catcher blocking, catcher framing.
Whatever. You don't need that.
Do you like these? Do you like these bars? I don't know. I don't know. Why is he so good? I mean, he is really good. He won an MVP.
Yeah.
25 years old.
Because he hits 289. I don't know why is he so good.
I don't know. He feels like a DH to me. I mean, go to his fielding stats. Like, I'm curious, like, if he has good defensive numbers, career fielding. Pretty bad, right? Like, his framing is negative
It's it's not. It's
negative
gotten
12.
better. I will say it's gotten better.
I feel like he should be a future DH or first baseman,
Yeah, probably a first
but
baseman. This.
he is a very good hitter.
Yeah, you keep him on. 30 home runs from out of a catcher. I mean, I'll take it. Sometimes you'll sacrifice defense for offense.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, he just won an MVP last year,
Yep.
and his contact's not even fully developed.
So
His BABIP isn't fully developed. His Boyd case. So yeah. Who else is on this team that we really like? Of course, there's the two-way sensation,
Zach
Zach
Coster.
Coster.
Yep.
Yep, I was going to talk about Mr. Coster. I wouldn't be surprised if he made it to the Hall of Fame someday, just because of what he kind of does.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, he should be a shoe in.
Maybe. I mean, if you look at his stats career-wise,
I
they don't
mean,
blow you away. But
he's plus on WAR on pitching and in um, batting.
yeah,
So
I guess if you combine him, he's up to like almost 50. So that's it. And he's only 30 years old, so that's pretty impressive.
yeah, 22 WAR at a batting stats and plus 18. So
Yep. Yeah, we'll see what the rest of his career looks like, but he's definitely an awesome piece to have.
yeah,
He's one of the more unique players in our league.
well, it's the guy that
Boyd Perry,
it's a guy you can feel comfortable plugging into the pitching rotation, and he can still does like still be a DH and don't really have to worry about other positions. Kind of cool. I feel
looks
like you
crazy
have
too.
a
It's almost like carrying an extra bat or an extra pitcher if you have a guy that does both too, right? You
yeah.
can go deeper on one side than the other. Not
It's
that depth is a problem with a 28-man roster in our league, but
yeah.
yeah, Boyd Perry, perennial Cy Young candidate. He won the their Pitcher of the Year award candidate, won it back in 2008, and I mean he's been good every single season. He's a bona fide ace, as they like to say.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a stud. Pitcher of the year in 2008.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like in terms of, I don't understand this. Has he never been to an All Star game? How's that even possible?
Yeah, how do you become the pitcher of the year and not go to the All Star game?
Well, maybe not the year you win, right? Maybe he was like a rookie that year when he won the year almost, or there's like his second season after doing a half season in 2007. But like, how do you not go to the All Star game in 2009 after you win Pitcher of the Year award? And he had a really nice season.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was like all second half. And last year, same thing. So yeah, another guy that's just. But the other thing that doesn't make sense, he's extremely popular nationally.
Yeah, it makes no sense. What's going on, Kamesh? Are you
I don't
pulling
know.
strings here?
No, I think that it's stupid too because I feel like which I don't like. Our all-star rosters are kind of big. I trimmed them down a little bit from the original size that I had them, but yeah,
Oh, so
I don't know.
you're snubbing players, commish. I see what you're doing.
Yep. All things we talked about in the commission meetings, Chris. Don't pretend like any of this is a surprise. Matt Clark, another All Star, actually a one-time All Star, so he's on more than Boyd Perry, but another young player is what I was trying to say, and had an All Star season last year. He's looking like a future stud for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Led the league in on base percentage.
Yeah, I like this player a lot.
He was not able to surpass the walk king. It looks like he had 109 walks last year, which is really impressive. But must be that man in Washington had a few more.
Uh,
Jason Kohler will never
so
be defeated. Yeah,
first
Kohler had
first overall
126.
first overall
Yeah.
pick too. I just want to point that out in 2005.
Yep, the 1-1 living up to expectation.
Gotta
So,
love it. Gotta love it when they do.
yeah, and you gotta love the fact that Boston is having their moment in the sun, right? Because they suffered for a long time.
They were a very struggling franchise in the beginning of the years of the big leagues. So
Yeah,
turned it
I don't think
around
Jack made the postseason. I don't think what Jack didn't make the postseason until
since
last year.
I think 2008 was his first year, and he made it all the
Yeah,
way to the championship and faced me.
right. Yeah, so yeah, 3 straight seasons he's been. Yeah, so now he's kind of on a roll. But he suffered for 7 seasons, which is like 9 months in real life. So good for him for sticking around and becoming a perennial contender. All right, on to the next one.
Next team standings. Who was it? Was it Somerville?
Actually, do want to mention just quickly that Boston has Coster locked up for 43 million and then 50 million next year. And then he's got this guy who we didn't even talk about, so maybe we should just mention him. Monohiro Hata. And he was one of those free agency signings. The international guys came over from Japan. And he gambled big time on this guy and paid him 35 million a year, it looks like. And he's been okay. He's put up like 3 WAR a season, the 2 seasons he's been here. But that's a big percentage of his book moving forward. So we'll have to see what he does. Boyd Perry is going to be walking after the season if he doesn't extend him. Malik Roach looking for 20 million on arbitration. So there's some decisions to make in Boston. This might be, I don't know, a pivotal moment for him to kind of decide direction.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to add all that. I like looking at the contracts. It's important. We can skip that part when we look at my team though, because we don't need to look at some of those
No,
contracts.
we're gonna look at it.
Yeah.
We're
Who's up
gonna
next?
delve deep.
Philly?
I think it's Somerville. Yeah,
It is
yeah.
Somerville.
Listen to
Somerville
you
won
change.
the
Listen to you change the subject over here.
yeah. Somerville and JR, they won the
Yeah, they
game
were.
163 last year over Fort Collins, and they were the last team in to the postseason. And Somerville, we always joke about the curse with the even in odds, and they broke the curse last year in the most kind of last minute way possible, right? That's the way you got to break a curse, though.
Yep, he did. He broke it.
Yep, you got to break a curse in a high pressure game 163 situation.
Yes, yes, you have to.
What do you think of his team, Chris? Who do you like on the money line?
My favorite player on the money line is DJ Ski Mask Marksberry. You
Yeah,
know,
he's still pretty good, huh?
yeah, like what's he got? I
Yeah,
think let's go to history accomplishment. I think he's got a no
yeah.
hitter last year. Yeah, he
He
did.
did get a no hitter last year. He's got 4 of them. Wow.
He's got 4 no hitters. So he's my
Yep.
favorite. He's my favorite big league player. He's got 4 no
Yeah,
hitters.
I think he's a good chance he's a future Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, he has a Pitcher of the Year award. Might be on the decline, maybe not though. He was maybe like actually the leader. I don't know why I just said that. He just suffered a bad injury. I don't know, pitcher of the year award, I think, last year until he got injured. 14 games. Look at that ERA. He was just pitching really nice.
His pitcher of the year was in 2001. He's an inaugural draft,
Yeah,
I believe. So
that's what I'm saying. He almost won 2001 and then 2000. Huge gap.
yeah.
But what was his injury last year? Is it like an arm injury?
Profile. Where's the injury history? He
Or what?
ruptured
It was a
tenders,
finger.
fingers.
You'll be fine.
Maybe he was putting on a ski mask and he's trying to rob a bank. Something went awry. That's what
Yeah,
he's.
I do like the new nickname. It sounds good just when you're saying it like full thing. DJ Ski Mask Marksman.
Yeah, love it.
So, Chris Juliano, I don't recognize that name. He's there on the team position rankings board. Switch hitter. Looks like this
He's
guy's in
he's got
year
good
number
financial
3. He's
ambition.
been pretty good. Yeah, he's been pretty good the last 2 seasons statistically.
He started in 2008. Yeah, he had a good year in 2009, and he's continuing with it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good example of a guy who like didn't really hit it on all cylinders in his rookie campaign, but JR stuck with him, and then he's been all-star level the last few years. I don't know what year he won the all-star there. He looks like a one-time star, but
2009.
yep.
He's
So
got
2 years ago,
I think he's
nice
good
season.
defensive, very good defensively. So, you know,
Hmm.
he looks good
And
defense.
Somerville, similarly, probably could play New York pretty tough. They've got what 4 lefties and 3 switch hitters,
Yeah,
so their lineup's really chalked.
3 switchies. Wow.
Yeah, take a look at Somerville's lineup. I mean, his ballpark real quick. I'm kind of curious. Looks like it. I don't know. It's actually tough to hit home runs as a lefty in his ballpark, but yeah, I'm not going to question his tactics. Sometimes it's just nice to have lefties in the lineup, but he's been a consistent playoff team.
Yeah,
So I expect he may be on the cusp again this year.
I. It's tough. I'll have to see the rest of the division to make my call on it. I guess that's what I would say. But he's got DJ Marksberry, so he's locked in for a win every once in a while. So
Yep. I do like Frank Escobar too. That guy, like, I feel like he was coming up big in the postseason every time we called it. Looks like he has 2 series MVPs. So that
yeah,
does make sense why that would stick out to me.
yeah, 2000 and 2009, so not last year, but I think I was calling his name a lot in the championship uh, games when he was in it.
I don't hate his pitching staff either. Like Bubba Davis is, he converted him from a really dominant reliever in 2009 to a starter in 2010, and I feel like that's a pretty successful stat line in terms of what he got for production. He is rocking the 6-man rotation right now though, but we may have missed his export. I think he exported a little late. Or actually, I don't know. I might be looking at an old thing, but anyways. And I like his lineup. I mean, his bullpen. It's not terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Don't hate it.
His closer right now, the guy that's listed as his closer. I feel like he's always done this like bullpen by committee, where like a couple guys are saving games, but Kanoka has really good ratings, but he's been just kind of terrible his whole career. Not terrible, but just like I don't know, not great.
Looks like he's been a long reliever. Put into put into the closing role. Who knows? It might,
Like
like you said, it might be. We might. He. I might when I pulled exports for this podcast. I might have missed his. So we might be looking at his
yeah,
preseason.
yeah. I feel like control is so critical like I don't know in this league and maybe in this game now. Like Canoko's got 45 controls. This guy's never posted an ERA below 4. And he's walking like 80 dudes a season. So that's like putting so many guys on base, you know. So even though he's got great stuff, fastball, changeup, cutter, he's just putting guys on base, and so they score.
Who, Konopka?
Yeah,
He walked up 49 last year. Hmm.
yeah, that was a lot more. Yeah, they're a lot less than previous. But all right, Somerville. I think that's enough.
Yeah, it's hard to tell on
That's
Somerville where they're going to be. I think it's pretty safe to say that Boston and New York are kind of uh, in the conversation of being in the top two. But I guess one thing to say is the season's a marathon, so you gotta hold it
yeah.
out, barring injuries. So
I think the thing that concerns me about Somerville is he's got some expiring contracts. Marksberry is locked up for like 4 more years. But that's well into his like mid to late 30s. So that's kind of scary. Frank Escobar is locked up for a lot of money for a lot of. And even though he's been a pretty good player, he definitely took a dip last year. So like that's pretty scary to me. And then he's got the starting pitcher Bill Burge locked up for 4 seasons at pretty significant money, and this guy took a small dev hit. He's been deving down. He's a captain, but um, I don't think he's worth the money that he's getting paid. So he might have some contract issues in the next few seasons as he tries to kind of rebuild his core.
I'm sure he'll figure it out.
I don't know.
You don't
We
know?
all got to hit the we all got to hit the bottom of the pile sometime. I think Somerville's close. He may be competitive this year, but I think he's going to be mid pack to fading in the next few seasons. We'll see. We'll see if he does change things around.
I'm gonna say I got to take a look at who's going in the rest of the the, the division before I make my decision on Somerville.
Yeah, and that would lead us to our next team is what Philadelphia.
I think it's Washington.
Is it Washington?
Let's take a look. Is it Washington? It is Washington.
Washington. You're right. Yeah, Philly. I think finished in last.
Yeah.
I was very
It's
impressed.
like, who finished first last year? Philly? No, 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 no. Sorry, it was New York. They won the championship.
Yeah, I've guessed Philly at every position. I'm just super excited to talk about the team. You can tell.
No. Can't wait to talk
But
Philly.
yeah, no, we're to Washington and Steve's team, and um, Steve made some moves I think this offseason because he was talking about it in chat. I'm gonna figure out who that is. Look through. I know he's got the same top of the lineup, and I've loved these 1 through 3 like since he's had them.
Zachary
Jason
Faz.
Kohler, yep, Zachary Fast. You can start at the top. That makes sense.
Zachary
Fast,
Faz. Fred Cox. Yes, I like this guy. Just those bars are nice.
yeah. I mean,
And
all 3 of those guys are great. I think Kohler's like a shoe-in Hall of Famer.
and the
First ballot.
OBB King.
I think Jason Kohler is as sure of a Hall of Famer as like he's so good. Even if he retired today, I was gonna say if he got injured today, but I'm not gonna do that. If he retired today, he'd be a Hall of Famer. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I forgot he won the MVP.
2004. Let's take a look at batting stats. 2004.
Yep.
9.6 WAR. Wow.
Look at the walks record. That's just like phenomenal.
Yeah.
8 straight seasons. He has led the league in walks.
You will not get me out, he says. I will just get on
He does.
base.
He does have a new shortstop. Did you see that?
New shortstop? Is it, let me guess, Ben Fowler?
It is. I don't think he's a shortstop. I think he's a third baseman, personally. Actually, I don't even know if that's true. I don't know. I think he's a second
He,
baseman.
I think when I had him on my team, He was a second baseman.
Yeah.
He
Problem
was,
is we got Zachary Fast at second base. So what do you do, right?
yeah, he's got Zachary. Yeah, but
So I think,
when I drafted him, he was a shortstop, so he can play
yeah,
shortstop. He's an all around player. So
I think the defense struggles a little bit, but that's okay. He's got a nice center fielder in Corey Creighton in terms of
I like the way his
what
team's
you want in
looking.
that position.
The team positions ranking, his team is
Oh yeah,
11th.
his lineup looks like fire, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was predicted to win the division in the preseason predictions. Although we haven't pulled opening day preseason predictions, so we're gonna post that before the sim tonight, but that might flip. Um, but yeah, no, his lineup looks like fire. His pitching looks a little better. He's
Butch
finally got a
Winter.
really good pitcher at the top who does have a small injury history, which is a little concerning,
Who's that?
but it's not terrible yet. Butch Winter. He had one looks like serious injury to his shoulder, which isn't great,
Yeah, but
but
that was in
hopefully he can stay on the
2009.
healthy side.
That was in 2009. He's got one good year ahead of him. That was just a minor setback.
Yeah, for sure. He might be one of those guys that every few seasons suffers an injury instead of all
Yeah,
the fucking time, which you
might
take if he's really really good.
might hurt him in the statistics or not statistics the bars there, their development. They'll dev down a little bit. That's what I've noticed with injuries on my team. But
Yeah, hopefully he does still have some depth because as good as Javier James bars are, I don't think he's going to last the season or maybe even his first sim tonight.
he's
So I think his pitching's improved for sure. I think
yeah.
it's still a little not super deep in the rotation. The bullpen is much better than it's been in the past in Washington. His closer looks really good. I don't know where this guy came from.
He was drafted in the 12th round.
Denny Lord. Please give this guy a nickname.
Yeah, he does need a nickname. Stat.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Washington?
I really like his team. Um,
I do too. We curse him every time we say it, but I do like his team. I think he's going to be good.
yeah, I think he's going to be good this year.
He's got some money to make some moves. So the one season he did make a move, he made the postseason. So let's see if he can get to that next level. I definitely think he's going to be competitive.
Yeah, I think he's going to be competitive this year as well.
The things that worry me about him, let's go over the contract page real quick. Jason Kohler, expiring contract. So I bet this guy wants 40 million plus a year. I bet he wants so much money. You can see down in the bottom left corner of your screen, he's the leader in games played, hits, and home runs for Washington. So the question is he going to cough up those dollars and keep him as a general for the foreseeable future, or is he going to be free agency next year?
Good question. Very good question. It'll be answered next year.
Or by Steven Chat. Ben Fowler is his most expensive guy. Don't really love that because I think he's declining. Maybe I'm a little jilted because he was fucking garbage in Oahu.
He was great in Spokane. Just want to say
Yeah,
he was a great player. He will work out well for you. He just knew when he went to Oahu that he was getting ready for the retirement center. He put in his fund and I guess his check bounced or something, so Paul shipped him out or something. Is that what it was?
basically how it went down.
Yeah.
I do. I will say he did sign a guy this offseason, 4 years, Toki Doi. Look at him real quick. He's his center fielder, and he gave him a lot of money. He's one of those, imports came in from Japan, has no history in the league. Those guys are always tricky,
Yeah.
but he's taking a gamble on this guy. So let's see. He's got him for 3 years in a player option.
Ooh,
It's one of his bigger contracts, so it's definitely interesting to look at.
I like this player though. I didn't
He's
see him. I didn't.
speedy. He's got a great gap.
Yeah, I like this player. I don't care if center fielder. I more care about their defensive play than their offensive bars. The offensive bars are just a bonus for me, in my opinion, for center
So
field.
the real trick with Washington is like how long in this because he does have Fred Cox on a huge contract soon. Fred Cox is getting 7 million this year, 14 million the year after that, and then he's got him for 38, 39, 40 million. So he's making 39 million over 3 seasons. Probably worth the money. Fred Cox is only 26, which is pretty crazy. But how do you pay Kohler if you've already got 197 on the book for 2013, 2014? I mean, really, I think Steve. We're not going to look at budget screens, but I think Steve does have money in scouting and development. But once you get to the pinnacle and you have, you know, your team in that competitive window, you got to drain those budgets to maybe go all in and keep the good times rolling. Right?
Yeah.
It's tough. You have to make that decision in this league.
Anything else on Washington? Next team?
Next team,
Ooh, not scores, standings. Which would be? What's your guess?
Montreal.
You're right.
I wrote it down.
Where are
Don't know how I got the other one wrong.
they?
I wrote them
I've
all
been,
down.
but I've been guessing Philly the whole time.
Yep. Philly.
So
Yep.
Montreal.
Montreal, yeah, Tim finally took a back seat after years of kind of dominating um,
Yeah, the Sapphire division.
the division. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they
What do
took.
you think? What's he at right now? I think he's still in rebuild mode, yeah?
Say that again.
I think he's still in rebuild mode, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. You don't
Yep.
go. I mean, he's 71-91, so he was in fifth last year. Definitely took a dive. Yeah, I think he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He's got
He
like
had a,
Steve Moss is his best player, which rightfully so. This guy looks like 5-time All Star, 3-time Silver Slugger.
yeah, and he's got Moss locked up on a pretty long contract. Honestly, I wonder if he had 10-5 yet. Probably not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's at 8 seasons. So if Montreal is going to move him, I'm not sure if he has a no trade clause right now. It looks like he doesn't. It looks like he's not going to move him because he extended him. So he's getting paid $32 million this year, and then he's extended $36 million a year after this. So Steve Moss is looking like a lifelong machine. He has been with the team since 2003.
Yep.
The other guy he's really committed to on this team is Nick Tyler. 3 years, $19 million each. Nick Tyler was a second round pick back in
2001.
2001. So it looks like he's really just kind of locked up his kind of career guys. You know what I mean? Over the next few seasons while he's in a rebuild,
It's kind of
just to
crazy
kind of
too. The
reward with that.
last 5 games he played, he was player of the game. I only know that because of the star right there.
Can I tell you something?
What's that?
Nick Tyler was pitcher of the year in 2007. Does
Dude.
that not blow your fucking mind? I have no idea who
Yeah, he was. He
I
was.
have no idea. Who the fuck is Nick Tyler?
Let's see his pitching stats in 2007 with a 5.7 WAR.
That must be people just voting by war, right? 'Cause, I don't know. He had a nice season.
Yeah, 9-7 when you win and
97.
loss.
97. Not that wins mean anything, but he only gave up 8 homers in almost 200 innings. That's pretty impressive.
2.95 ERA too.
Fascinating. If you had Nick Tyler, pitcher of the year in 2007 on your bingo.
Yeah,
Um,
I think these guys are on decline. Does he have any good? What's his top prospects look like? Anybody good coming up?
I mean, this guy Josh Hutchins is starting pitcher in his lineup. It's going to be his third season, but that's his best like rated player in terms of the rankings. Josh Hutchins, his ace.
First round, second overall.
another guy that's been with the team for a really long time. I mean, Montreal has had overtime, um, but he's got a lot of guys that have kind of just stuck with the organization. He's re-signed them and kept them going, which makes sense. He's been a very good team, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can look to see if he has any prospects. He does have a ton of expiring contracts. Plath is actually about to expire. Travis Plath. He's been a machine for the last 5 years. He's been an all-star. Um, Back in 2009 only actually, but he's just had a solid career. He's coming off the books for 29 million. Unless he extends him, actually, he's a 28-year-old, so he might want to keep that guy around. But yeah, most of this team's going to be gone soon. His budget's going to clear up in the next few seasons. He's got a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's on the rebuild mode, and we'll be working on it for next. Because I mean, he just barely fell off, so this
Yeah,
is his first year not making the playoffs. So I guess it's the start of the rebuild, and see how long it takes for Montreal to make the promised land again.
yep. He's got a ton of guys in his system, like you were just alluding to. Not a ton of like. He's got two guys in the top 100,
You
but
know, when I
he
went to
wants to.
the meet the team screen, his top guys were like nothing too special.
Yep.
You know,
So
like Juan Zega. Like I don't
he's,
see. I mean, yeah,
he's,
he's.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say he's probably a serviceable player, but you know, he's not
Looks like
close
he can
yet.
play infield and outfield, or am I wrong about?
Say it again.
Can he play infield and outfield? Just looking at that last guy.
He
Just wondering
can
what
play
his
infield and
rating
outfield.
like.
Yeah,
Or first base. You never know. Like
yeah, he's
range.
probably a first baseman.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Next team.
Next team. Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I think Montreal has a couple seasons
Yeah,
to get back to their glory days.
yeah, they're gonna be. Yeah, they just barely hit bottom, so they might be there for a minute. Who knows?
Yep. All right. Yeah. Next team is our sixth place finisher. It's the Lehigh Valley Scrapples. And JP is on automatic right now. He's actually on vacation. Has been for the last 2 weeks. So I've done some minor tweaking to his team just to keep it in shape. And um, but he's gonna roll out. He's gonna be autoed here on day one just to roll things out. So he'll probably make some adjustments after he gets back here. I think he's gonna be back on Tuesday, so he's only gonna miss the first month of the season. But yeah, he's got some nice pieces. He was a playoff team 2 seasons ago, and then we switched to 2005. And sometimes that throws a wrench in your plans, and I think that's kind of what happened to the Scrapples here on their rebuild. I still think they have a chance to be an okay team.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah, I think they have a chance to be an okay team. What screwed them
So I
last year?
mean, well, sometimes just switching versions, like some
Oh
guys
yeah, yeah.
get down big
I
time.
forgot we
You know,
switched versions last.
yeah. Statistics last year, you got to remember, are completely different from 2009 to 2001. So it's like an era
Yeah, this
in a
is
sense.
the new
Like new
era.
eras every 8 or 9 seasons, or actually probably every 10 seasons with our schedule, right? So,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
um, but yeah, Roland Cook is the celeb of the Lehigh Valley Scrapples, two-time Pitcher of the Year, and not just that, back-to-back Pitcher of the Years. He's won the last 2 seasons, and he's been absolutely phenomenal. Um,
Yep. Can't argue with that. Rookie
he
of the
his
year
injury
too.
history, his injury history lists a migraine, and that's it. He pitches 220 plus innings. He strikes out a shitload of guys. Yeah, what do you not love about this? Like
His, his only injury is a migraine.
Cook puts fannies in the seats, and guess what? That's pretty important in this league.
Yes, it is.
Kyunho Lee, number 2, also has been pretty good. He took a step back last year because he had an injury. Looks like Actually, it looks like he's just super injury prone. So this guy might not be anything.
I
This
mean,
is
2 days. He only missed 9 days last week. So
well,
or last year.
this is one.
Or no, this year. Oh, never mind.
Well,
Hold on.
yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna say he had 4
I'm
starts last year.
retracting my statement. Never mind. I'm
He's
retracting
already
it.
missed. He's already been injured twice in spring training.
Yeah, huge,
Yeah.
gross.
But if you remember, this is again he's South Korean, so this is one of those no history signings, and he was giving him 150 million over 5 years. There's a player opt out, and there's 2 player options. Maybe he gets fucking lucky, but if not, he's stuck with this really shitty contract.
Yeah, no more duck breast.
Well, and let's be honest, like if he can stay healthy, worth the money,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. If he stays healthy, it's worth the money. But yes, ever since duck breast, we've all been weary of the
The
international free
duo
agents.
Kuramoto, yes, the famous duck breast. He does have Isaiah Alexander. I think this guy's like, I don't know. It's really hard for relievers to get into the Hall of Fame, but I like this guy. He's at almost 300 saves for his career. He's 32. Maybe he pitches to 38, 39. It's like 400 saves, and he gets in. I don't know. What do you think? What's your threshold for a closer getting into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, it's all about saves, and ERA for that matter too. Because if you're a closer, you don't want to be putting in runs. So that's what I really
Yeah,
look at for both of them. And 40
coming from
saves
the
last year is pretty good.
yeah, he's been good. I don't see the blown saves column. I'll have to add that in my view, but
The what?
the blown save stat. Wondering where he's at with that,
Oh
but
yeah, blown saves. Let's see pitching. Oop. Pitching stats. I bet it's over here somewhere.
I think if you go to view,
Where-
the view drop down, right next to that, you're right next to it. It's
Oh,
all
there.
good.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and you go to edit right here, and then you can add it to expanded pitching stats one, or to basic pitching stats.
Well, we won't look
Don't worry
at it.
about it. Yeah,
We'll
it's
worry
too much.
about it later. It's too
Yeah,
much to figure out.
you may have blown some saves, and that's okay. It happens.
It
But
happens.
any other thoughts on JP's team? Who else is there to highlight here? We haven't looked at the lineup at all, actually. So
Yeah,
probably
you
a lot
haven't
of things.
really. Yeah. Got who does he have really?
I think that's kind of his weak spot. I think his pitching is
His pitching is holding up.
slightly above average.
Yeah, because I don't think
Although,
he is because his team position rankings like all over the place. He's like they're good, but they're not like the best. But can't really judge a team off that either. But
I mean, just look at the statistics from, like I said, going to 2000 or out of the park 24. Like Barry Richardson went from like back-to-back 5 WAR seasons to 1.5 WAR last year. Like he
and he only played
really
51
fell off.
games with a broken fractured finger.
His second baseman, this rookie Ken Phillips, looks pretty good. He had last year was his rookie campaign, so he might have a breakout season. I kind of like him. His shortstop's really good defensively. Yoshi Imada. Looks like this was another one of those maybe international signings, but this one has worked out. Did have a 6 week injury in 2010, but yeah, he's been okay.
Yep. Yeah, I
So
agree.
don't really love this team.
Yeah, I'm not. They're not top of. Yeah, I think they're going to be mid tier on the
Yep,
cusp. Wild card team
agreed.
at
And
best.
I don't really know the direction for the Scrapples to be like a contender right now in this division. They've got Lee for again 30 million a year over the next few years. That could be really painful. He's got a ton of contract room outside of that. Again, he didn't spend it all this year. because he was on vacation. So he could maybe pick up some guys here in free agency,
Yeah,
yeah, after the fact, right? He's
yeah,
got $36 million available, so maybe there's some guys sitting out there that's going to make his team a little more competitive this year on the pitching side. And
and
yeah, who knows?
get him on the cheap too.
Yep, yep. That opening day discount in free agency. And there's some good pitchers out there like Alex Lopez, old man at this point, 37, but um, he's an Iron Man, so I would maybe take a gamble on him if I was a team. And so a couple of bullpen pieces. So yeah, next team.
Next team.
There's only one left, and then
Let me guess, Philly.
we.
Philly with a new logo, which I like the new look.
Yep, me too. I like the colors. So
With that being said, what do you
talk
think?
about the team.
What do you think about Philly, Paul?
I don't know. I think we start with the lineup. He's got a nice looking rookie that might be making his debut here. That's David Ramirez, first round, 10th overall pick in 2007. We'll see. He didn't put up crazy numbers. He actually had a really season. I see he was split over 3 levels last year. Um, but yeah, he looks like he could be a pretty decent back. Challenge Kohler for the walk king record? Probably not. But he's got a fantastic eye, and he mixed that in with some power, so that could be a pretty nice piece. Oscar Marquez as well. Now in his third season, but this guy's okay.
Yeah,
He does have Jeremy Dunn, and Jeremy Dunn is one of my favorite pitchers. Again, never been to an All Star game. Jeremy Dunn. What's going on around here? I feel like this is TBL household name, if I can say so. Uh, I guess he hasn't been fantastic looking at his numbers, so I guess it makes sense.
why is he your favorite pitcher? I want to know
He's
why.
not. I didn't say he's my favorite.
Well, why is he a household name? It's because he throws it
Uh, I'm
left-handed.
I'm changing my mind. He's not a household name.
Okay,
He's an injury prone. Maybe I'm just. And that's why I recognize.
you're just speaking on the fly right now. I get
Yeah.
it. I was
I
wondering.
mean, that's why I remember his name too. I'm looking at his history. He was the number 7 prospect in the TBL at one point, so he was like a top name coming into the league. So I'm not crazy.
Just a little bit.
A little crazy. All right. Mike Jenkins. He picked Mike Jenkins up in a free agent signing this offseason, and he's been one of the top closers in the league. I think we never got to a 10-year anniversary kind of like podcast or anything, but um, Jay and Matt from New York sent me their lists of who they thought would be on the all-decade team, and Mike Jenkins made that list. I think either first team or second team. I don't remember.
Wow. Wow. Oh, he is. Was he? What? Oh, yeah. He was. I'm trying to think of what teams he was on. Yeah, he started with you. That's correct. Did you trade him, or did you have to let him go with free agency when you had him?
I don't. I think I traded him once things fell apart. But yeah, I think Philadelphia. If you remember last year, they were like 500 for a good portion of the season. It was like really surprising. I think even to Bobby, like he didn't expect it to be doing okay. And then
Yeah,
maybe they kind of dived in the second half because they finished in last, right? So
yeah,
um, yeah, I don't think he's going to be good again this year. I think one of the problems with his team, and it was a big problem last year, is he's got a lot of injury prone guys. So he just needs to hope that not as many get injured this year.
yeah. It's all you can hope for. I mean, injuries suck. Nothing you can do about them. They really can make or break your season. I think he's gonna struggle though. I think he's got. He's. I don't see his team be prevailing.
Yeah, not compared to some of the teams we've looked at. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
gonna murder his pitching staff. I feel like New York is gonna murder his pitching staff.
yeah.
And this team is actually one of the more, I would say, they have a championship, right? 2001.
Yeah, the
But they've
first one.
become one of the
They
most
were.
tortured franchises in league history.
They won it in
Um,
2001, I believe.
I mean, Philly hasn't won 70 games since 2005. So it's
I
been a tough
think.
read.
I think the original GM from
Was a
this.
little stuck out.
He. I think he sold the farm for the first couple of years.
Oh, completely. Yeah, no, it was a slow rebuild once this team fell. And um,
It's yeah.
yeah, a good challenge for Bobby to get back there. It'll be a good accomplishment once he finally postseason.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like the Boston challenge.
Yeah, yeah, because he's been. Yeah, it's been tough for him, but
David Ramirez, who we did point out, he is the three prospect in the league right now, so he's obviously, but there's high hopes for Mr. Ramirez. All right.
well, that wraps up the Sapphire division. Do
It
you
does.
do you want to lead off with the prediction, or do you want me to?
I'll defer to you. What do you want me to do?
I want you to listen to mine and
There you
say, "Man, you're right," but I have to go different. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with. Ooh, do I do a? No, I'm not. I'm gonna go with New York in first,
Yep.
Washington
I'm going to agree
second,
with you.
Washington second,
Yep. I heard you.
Boston third.
All right.
Fourth place will be Somerville, Lehigh, Philly, Montreal.
Cool. All right. Um, I agree.
All of it?
Not serious. Yeah, I agree. One, I agree with every single thing you said. New York, Washington, Boston, Somerville, Lehigh, Philly, Montreal. There could be a little movement between Philly and Lehigh and Somerville.
Yes. That's where the
But
wigger
I like your order. I like Somerville because of the track record. Lehigh's been cashed out, but I actually do think he's someone in free agency once he gets back Tuesday, and that's going to make him a little better than he looks right now.
Yeah.
And Philly added Dunn, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't I
I
think
don't
it
like it enough to change the tide.
yeah.
He also paid a lot for Dunn. I'm gonna say, like, and this might just be kind of like new GM rookie error, but like he traded the 2011 first round pick, and he had already locked into the fourth overall pick there. So I would have kept that shit, and I would have traded like a 2012 first round pick because you probably still could have gotten him for a 2012 pick. But that's just me.
Alrighty. I'm gonna
I mean, Pat Perone went number 4 overall. That's a sexy prospect. Anyways, yeah,
I gotta make a quick break real quick and we'll move on to the J division and we will start opening day. What do you think about that?
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, we'll take a couple minutes here.
All right, back again with the Shade division, and man, this division is always so hard to read. I feel like every season it's just tough to tell where who's going to finish where, right? I feel like Tampa Bay has done this a couple times. Well, they didn't do it last year. I'm wrong. So they were second last year and they finished in dead last. I feel like they also won different GM. It wasn't Cole, but they won the division like in 2004 and then finished in dead last 2005. I think Atlanta won the division one year. I'm trying to think in 2009, and then last year they finished in sixth. So teams always just hop around in this
Yeah,
division.
this
Galveston went from fifth to first last year, back to back fifth places.
yeah all
So
over the place. So
Vegas went from six to three last year. Just like it's literally like all over the board. There's a couple teams in Denver, two seasons, and Fort Collins, but last year our division winners were Galveston, the Galveston Gremlins, right? Matt back to glory in the division. Actually, he mentioned it was his first division win, which is kind of funny because it was like his third best record ever, I think. He was a second place finisher the year he won 104 games, and third place a couple other times. I think he was in his wild card. So yeah, won the division last year by one game. Teams last year, Las Vegas and Denver, were 91 and 71. So this is going to be a very tightly contested year this year. Maybe. Denver made some pretty big moves. We'll talk about them soon. But yeah, what do we think about Galveston and Matt's team?
a great team. He puts together a well together team.
Yeah, he's got some names I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah, I was
He's
about
got
to
some
say
names
the
I am
same
familiar with.
thing.
He's got some names I'm really familiar with, like Javon Cooper. Dude's been a really great pitcher for a long time. Let's look at his pitchers first. If that's cool. Like his number one pitcher.
Yeah,
Um, this guy's been solid. He's played for a bunch of different teams at this point.
yeah, Tampa, Galveston, Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. His second stop at Tampa, but his fifth team
Oh yeah,
overall.
and look at that. And New Orleans, Milwaukee, Lehigh, Milwaukee, Tampa. Yeah,
Yep. You also got John Dykstra, which is another guy who's played for a bunch of different teams.
yeah, Spokane, Oahu.
Yep. But both guys are definitely like stables, mid 30s now in this league, but they've been really good. So as long as they regress, those are solid pieces. The new names to me in the pitching staff here looking Frank Vaughn. Now actually, maybe I'm just tripping. It looks like Frank Vaughn's been in the league for 4 seasons now. Barely though until last year. This is a very interesting profile. Um, what's going on here?
Yeah, what is going on here with this guy?
Is this just like a 2005 special? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I keep saying an out of the park 24 special. There should be no problem slotting Vaughn in as the number one starter on most teams, says the scout. This dude in 2009 was a 40-45 overall. And then we go to 2010 and he's a 65-65.
Oh yeah,
Boom. Look at
yeah,
that. So this was what we would say would be a out of the park 24 special, I think.
yeah.
25 special. It's been
20.
25. That's why I keep saying 2005. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I'm off. So yeah, Frank Vaughn, sexy as hell, 27 years old. Mike Adames, who's going to be a rookie this year, has never pitched in the major leagues. We'll have to see how he turns out, but this lefty looks like he's going to be fire. He's the number 22 prospect in the league. He was acquired in a trade with Lehigh last or 2 seasons ago, and he's an Iron Man. It looks like because he's never been injured.
gotta love that.
Yeah, I feel like this is almost a pretty disastrous trade for Lehigh because he got whacked by out of the park 25 in that conversion.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, he gives up like a really nice prospect. So definitely some risk, but hey, that's part of the game.
Yes, it is.
Jim Jeffries, I don't know if he's going to start or not. He might be still in the minor leagues. don't
He's
know if
got
I've
the
pulled
#1 shortstop in Marcos Armend Armendariz. I'm not even. I'm just gonna quit trying to figure it out.
Is he the number one shortstop?
Yeah, it says #1.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it
I
looks
see
like
why. He
he's gonna be a
defensively,
rookie this year.
he played 57 games last year. Does that count?
Yeah. Well, if you're under the 80-day threshold, so I think he probably came up after call-up day.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at his major league service time there on the left, it's 71 days.
Yeah.
So it's under the 77 or 80. I forget what it's up to.
So this is going to be his rookie campaign. Fan fave. I love seeing that.
Yep. He's got some nice pieces. I think he will be competitive again. Aaron Smith is a stud. He signed him in free agency last year, and then he had a pretty nice campaign this past season. So 5-time All-Star.
Yeah.
And he does have some pieces that are close, like some of these prospects. Like Adamas, who I just mentioned, probably going to start, right? He's the number 22 prospect.
Yeah, he's
But
going to.
Jay Meeker actually is also a rookie here, his left fielder. And he's the number 29 prospect in the league. Those are some nice R's right there. 17 overall pick in 2008. And then on top of that, he's got just, a couple more guys that are close. So, Matt's done a really good job of, reaching the playoffs last year and having a bunch of young pieces that are going to come up and now supplement his good team. So I like where he's at.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at his contract page too, real quick, and then let's move to the next team. But I mean, he's got a ton of flexibility. So once he figures out which one of these young players are worth investing without problem, and you know, these old guys that we highlighted at the beginning of his team talk, Cooper and Dykstra are expiring, so he's not committed to them. Smith is on a team option for next year. He's literally going to have an empty book next year. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's definitely the cleanest financial page we've looked at, right?
Yeah, probably one of them.
That's from a team that just won the division, so it's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right. What do you think? Any other thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, it's a really good team. I mean, like you said, it's gonna be a tough division to really dive into, but I think it's a good team. They have a fight. I'm not gonna give them. They're gonna be the clear cut winners of the division quite yet, but
Oh, me either. Not in this division.
uh,
They're kind of like the Ruby division was the first few years, where there's like never a repeat winner
yeah, exactly.
until we became the division where there's always one,
Yep.
and it's San Diego.
And then it turned San Diego and just me being second place. So now I think it's
Yeah.
gonna turn this year, but we'll get on to the next pod. So
All right. Who's next? Second place was either Denver or Las Vegas. I think Denver took second over
it
the
was
tiebreaker.
Denver.
And yeah, this is not your 2010 Denver Dynamite. It's your 2010 Huron Herons. But it's a great team. He put out opening day. Fucking loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the video that was great. Love it.
It broke down the fact that he traded away all his future assets and all his all his future draft capital. But now he has a really, really good team, and his championship window is now for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We've seen other guys though that we've thought have had super teams going into the season, right? And they
Yeah,
aren't the ones that win the championship. So
it's very true.
we will see how Denver's season plays out. But he brought in Shuko Yasutake, Victor Rivera, Lance Patrick, his three starters there at first, second, and third. Gabe Whittington, he actually signed in free agency, so his starting shortstop is brand new. Um, who's coming back from this team? Looks like Heron's coming back, his left fielder. Looks like Antonio Reyes, his center fielder, who was a rookie last year and actually put up 2.8 WAR in just 55 games. He looks like he could be really good. Um, he was acquired in a trade a couple seasons ago with New York, so he looks really nice. McMartin here has been here for a couple seasons after a trade with Atlanta. And Jay's slowly put together all these really good pieces, and um, that's definitely something I know of his history. He's not afraid to make that big trade.
No, he isn't. Well, him and Huron, you know, they like to say it's the same person, but
Yep,
they like to make
they're
some
both at this
trades.
moment. It's like an eclipse though right now. Like they're both the top two traders, but they have the pieces to do it right now. If one of them falls off,
Yep,
yeah,
I agree.
that's how I see it. So when the moon and the sun cross, sometimes you just get some crazy fucking trades.
Agreed. It's just kind of crazy that he's got he's got George Reed and Ricardo and
Yeah,
Guiana.
he brought in Ricardo. He brought in a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't even need to go over all two-time pitcher of the year, future Hall of Famer without a question, Anguiano. Never won a pitcher of the year award. Surprised, but look at that. Look at his that whip streak. He led the league in whip 5 straight seasons, which I fucking love. Led in ERA 3 straight seasons. Or no, that was all 2009. I'm getting my eyeballs fixed.
Well, well,
Led
well,
it in 3 straight seasons, which is still impressive. That's
we
all
do gotta
2007.
remember too. He came back to Denver, so he was an original Denver guy.
And honestly, I think Anguiano, might have been pitcher of the year in 2007 if he hadn't been traded to the other league, right? He had an outstanding season that year.
Oh, that's right. 3 different teams that year.
Yeah. Eric Ryan was the stud on Galveston for like a time. Now, like the number 4 pitcher in this lineup. He's got a pitcher of the year award back in 2006.
That's his number 4 starter. Jeez, Louise.
And then Jennings, he just acquired in the trade, as mentioned, Vegas this year. So, I mean, his pitching rotation is
Yeah,
um,
that is
oh, very good.
that's probably the best rotation I've seen.
His number 5 starter would actually be the best pitcher in the history of the Oahu Paddlers. So,
he
yeah,
might
he's got a good.
he might want to retire there in the future.
He did say that his bullpen is blah. So let's hope that doesn't blow up and hurt him. I don't think it will in the regular season because it's such a long haul. But like once you get to the postseason, that might be a little scary. So maybe over budget trade at the deadline, right?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, he's got $12 million available somehow.
Somehow, that is kind of crazy to think.
Somehow, yep. But looking at his salary page, he's committed to several of these guys for quite a long time. Yasutake is locked up.
Oh, another guy too is Mike High.
I
That's an
actually
original
bet. Oh yeah, Mike Ty. Yeah,
original
we can't
Denver
forget about Mike
player.
Ty.
Horsefall.
Yep,
He's in the original Denver.
Mike Ty
So
had a great season.
so you can't say this is the Denver Herons. So this is the
Oh no,
dynamite. It's
it's
definitely
definitely a two-headed creature.
yeah.
Yep, there's some old teammates that all came along for a transition. I mean, there's how many Herons are on? So, but anyways, yeah, like contract wise, he's got yes a long time, but I do think looks like there's an opt out by the player after this season, and I definitely think he's taken that. He's owed 20 million over the next 3 years, but he was really good in this rookie campaign. He did get injured in 2010, so who knows if that's going to be a thing, but I could see him walking after this season. He's got Inguiano locked up for 35 million a year after this year. if he doesn't opt out, and I feel like Anguiano should opt into that, but maybe not. You know, and Eric Ryan, I think, is going to opt out of 15 million, but again, you never know. So a lot of opportunities for Denver to be a very different team next year if he doesn't win,
Yes.
and maybe not ones he wants because those are three really good players.
Yes, that's a lot of moves to be made. But that's the end of the season. This is now. He's thinking now, I think. So
Yeah, I think his video made that very clear. That
very
this
clear.
is the year. Yep,
He
yep.
wants
And
a trophy.
of course, as we know, he's also beefed up security, around the facility just in case of any attempts on his life. So we wish him the best with that. He has the full moral support of the TBL, but none of the financial support, unfortunately.
Let's move on to the next team, I say.
Las Vegas, the High Rollers.
Las Vegas. They did finish third. No, Las Vegas.
Zach's got a Zach's got a okay team, but he's shipped away a bunch of pieces. So I don't know if he's. I'm curious what he's trying to do.
I
Uh,
like what he's done, though. Looks like
yeah, I
he.
do too. He's got a very. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like looking at the team position rankings, like you say, like he has traded a bunch of pieces away. Like he's got traded away Verdugo. Um, but I mean, he's picked up players to compensate for it, and it looks like it's gonna work out well for him. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I've given Zach some slack on the podcast this year and in years past because I feel like his team has underperformed big time and not been as good as they should be, but he's still been super super good. I mean, he's won like
Yeah.
90 games a year every year except for that one year in 2000. He was back last year, and I mad respect because he does have what looks like another really good team this year, and he's gotten rid of some key pieces and gotten nice returns for them. Like I said, he just drafted that catcher that a couple of us are drooling over,
Oh, yep.
um, and he's got some good prospects in the pipeline. I think he had like 3 or 4 first round picks this year.
So he had some. See, a 90-win team with getting four first. This is just outrageous.
He's got the number 2 prospect in the league in Gayton, so yeah, Zach's done a great job with his franchise.
Yeah. Agreed.
Who do you like on this team the most? I like Sean Hall a lot, obviously. I don't think I like him the most. I like Kareem, famous Amos, the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. He's a new acquire by the looks of it. He's
That's another guy who's played for 5 teams. This is going to be his 6th team. Can't find a home for famous. But he might be a future Hall of Famer. 42 WAR, 32.
I'd put him out there.
We'll see.
He's got a Golden Glove. He's got a silver bat, silver slugger. We'll call it silver bat. I like the bat that better. He's got a silver
He
bat.
does, he does have a Golden Glove. That surprises me.
2010 at that last year. So
Las Vegas is another team that's definitely felt the injury bug at times too. So hopefully he can keep this iteration of the
yeah,
high roller healthy.
is his pitching staff to where he's kind of lacking? I mean, Joey
I don't
Hansen's
know.
his number one guy, and he looks
I
solid.
I like Hanson, especially because he's a Iron Man,
Yeah,
and that's to me one of the more important stats.
yeah,
Phil Ford is the exact same thing. He's in his 2nd year. I mean, he hasn't blown the lid off the place, but I think staying out there is so valuable. Tim Stevenson, his other starter, 1 week injury in his entire career. Jeremy Pear. Never been injured. So he's basically just thrown out a rotation of Iron Men. That's his strategy.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah. He's got this 22-year-old that had an injury. Hopefully he listens to the podcast and he knows.
Oh, yeah, I like his team. I think,
Bullpen's okay. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think they're going to be the top of the division, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we all think Denver will be. We'll have to see
yeah,
what we say at the end.
yeah,
But
we'll have to wait to see at the end. Spoiler
I
alert.
would,
Jeez.
yeah. I would compete. I would compete Galveston and Las Vegas as two lineups though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. But yeah,
Yeah,
off to the next,
sure.
which would be Fort Collins.
That would. Fort Collins just missed the postseason, right?
Yeah, they did.
They lost game 163. Um, yeah, but Kyle's been good every single season. So
Yeah, I say he always puts a sneaky good team together. Like I don't look at his team and I don't look at it and I'm like, yeah, I don't see this team like a playoff team, and then you just see him play off through the year and they're just winning games. I don't get it, but he knows his strategy, he knows what he's doing. So
I feel like he has one of more deeper pitching staffs
yeah, I agree.
um,
Yeah,
in
that
the
too.
league. Like he knows how to draft pitching better than some GMs, including myself. Um, because he keeps developing good young pitching. Like Andre Crawford here in his fourth season now. This guy could win a Pitcher of the Year award some year. I think. I think he's that good. Um, but just in terms of like I think again Denver's rotation purchased, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Hmm.
Kyle's rotation built, and Kyle's rotation is probably second in that combo of whose is better. But a very impressive rotation in terms of what we look at. Man.
Yeah, I like that rotation a lot. And that pitching, I think pitching wins a lot of games in this league. So the pitching is hard to come by in this league. Always has been. I don't know why is that. I want
Yeah,
answers. I want answers,
I don't know
Kamish.
because there's so many pitchers. You need 13,
Yeah, it's
and you
true.
just need one of each other.
Yeah. Wanna
Yeah, I don't know.
thing
I wonder if voice crack. I wonder if like All Star, like here's another guy that I think should be an All Star, and I just don't understand why it's not showing it on the screen. Is Jimmy Adam Adamczyk? Is that not a name we've heard, seen? And this
yeah.
guy's never gone to an All Star game.
Well, he's only got a slight smidge of got a little slight smidge of red on here. So I mean, it's tough. Just a staple for Fort Collins, like we said earlier.
Goodness. Yeah, Michael
He's
pointed out that he drafted Andre Crawford here. He's the stud. Third overall pick
so
in the draft.
so he says he's busting your
Busting my theory.
yeah,
No, it's
bust.
okay.
Yeah,
Kyle still
love
made
it,
moves
love
again.
it. I love it.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else to add about Fort Collins? I think I
Just want to look at the salary page. So he's committed to Adamczyk. He's committed to Sam Hunt, which we haven't looked at Sam Hunt. So let's look at him real quick.
let's look at
Sam
Sam
Hunt's
Hunt.
been really, really good. Sam Hunt's like a
Yeah, he's a great.
name I'm not super familiar with, but I should be.
Yeah, just not.
And look at that. Pitchers can be all stars, Chris. Sam Hunt is a two-time All Star.
And look where he's from.
America. Oh, Vermont. Yeah, that's true. Sweet. I was just being patriotic. What can I say? Um, Josh Winkler's closer's locked up for 10 million a year. Team option on the last year, so it's nice. He's only 26 years old, so I kind of like that, and he's been good. It's kind of tough to have that reliable back end piece. So, and outside of that, a lot of flexibility contract wise. But yeah, on to the next one.
Next team,
Who you
which
got?
would be who do you got? Who is it? I think it's New Orleans.
I think it is
New Orleans,
New Orleans.
5th place. New Orleans.
This is Ryan. Ryan's team.
He went 500 last year.
He did go 500, so he kind of rebounded from place finish. He was one of those teams that like won the division 2007, last place 2008, or won the division 2008, last place 2009. And yeah, took a step forward last year. He won the lottery this year in the draft through ridiculous odds. He was not supposed to win,
Yeah, wasn't supposed to win at all, but won
and he got Ben Blackwell's illegitimate son, Jeremy Blackwell,
it.
which is very upsetting, but looks like a really great prospect.
Did you
Gonna
think he
be
was gonna?
interesting to see
Did
where
you
he
think
comes
he
in
was
on this
gonna
board.
fall to 11 to you?
You know what? I was hoping he would fall to like 3 or 4, and then I was going to try to negotiate up. It's not that I didn't think I was trading into the number one spot, so probably not. But Ryan had that shit on auto. Like he knew who was going to take number one, so he just locked it in. So as soon as I started the draft, he went off the board. I was just like, no. So it was a very sad moment. But looking at his team, um, I don't think he has a very good team. That's okay.
No, I don't think so either. Um, yeah, I mean he's shipped a lot of pieces out, so I think rebuilding is in his future still. It must be still working on it. But do you think?
Yeah.
Because looking at his team position rankings, I'm not seeing anything too special, other
Well, I
than
was
his
going to say
catcher.
Miura. Well, I was going to say that starting pitcher though, Miura.
Yeah,
Um, is a big deal. And I criticized him last year. Not criticized. I was just like kind of curious what his plan was for this guy because his team is garbage. But this guy is really good because he won Rookie of the Year award and he was an All Star. And just the fact that a pitcher can win Rookie of the Year award, I feel like it was really difficult in the past. Like it wasn't working right. So
yeah.
he was a really good. In my opinion, I think he was like top three. In my opinion, excuse me. I think he was top three in pitcher of the year too. I'm surprised he
Yeah.
forget who was. Oh yeah, it was Cook, right? Cook won. But
Well, you always got to have a captain on your team.
I don't think the catcher's that good either. I mean, he's okay for a catcher, I guess. Like really good stats in terms of offensive bars, but who wants an unmotivated catcher? Rarely puts in overtime. That's not going to help the pitching staff.
Well, he's helping your budget, okay?
Talking about Javon Cooper earlier, now in Galveston, but wins and strikeouts leader for New Orleans Mudcats all time. But yeah, no, I think New Orleans is going to be bad. It's okay. He's in the rebuild phase. He did it intentionally. He sold away a bunch of pieces. BJ Swart being one of them to my enemy and my nemesis, Alex in San Diego. But yeah, he's got the number 5 prospect in the league, and Jamie Fonts, which you might as well trade to me now because he just drafted that new shortstop. Um, and some other nice pieces, but not a super deep system. Contract page, I'm gonna guess he's not committed to much.
Probably the pitcher that you talked about, but that's probably it.
Pitcher. Yeah, actually, he is committed to quite a few things. Zhang, the catcher, he just said, well, there's a team option there, so he can actually get out of this after next season. Um, so Zhang's 2 years. That's not bad. Mark Morales, we hadn't looked at him. He's actually not. This is what I'm talking about with control, though. This guy's got 45 control. He led the league in walks last year, 114 walks. So that's insane. And Morales is locked up in a not very friendly contract, though, for the next few years. He's got team options on the end of Miura and Morales, so he can have quite a bit of flexibility after 2012. So, yeah, not much to talk about with Ryan's team.
Sixth place. Who was it?
I think that was Atlanta. So we have our first of two new GMs in Miff. Miff joining the league and taking over for Sean, who departed after 3 full seasons. Very weird departure. He asked me if he could expand and no, relocate. And I said yes. And then literally the next day he's like, I'm bored and I'm gonna leave the league. I was like, all right. He just asked if anything was okay and he never got back to me. So I wish him the best of luck. And we have a new GM. So Miff, welcome to the league.
Welcome, welcome.
And you have some rebuilding to do. If I remember Atlanta's situation. I mean, Atlanta won the
In
two
2009, they won.
seasons ago. Yeah, but I don't know how. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like that was that weird year where like everybody was just kind of in the mix, and Atlanta somehow pulled it off.
yeah.
Probably with help of a resim by me by accident, you know.
Stupid draft
Um,
classes.
no, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think Atlanta's the best team. Greg Gross has been kind of the staple on the Smashers
Greg Gross.
um, since 2002. You know, he's played for the team and been a pretty good player. And I think he's probably the best player on the team. Diego Orta, of course, has been a lifelong player as well. Both these guys do have two championships, so no disrespect it all to them. And I think Orta might be future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing that they have in common, that the first letter, excuse me, the first number in their age starts with three. This team's getting
Yeah,
a
Orta.
little old in a couple positions.
Yes, agreed. Well, it's an aging team. This was the the leader of the Jade division for the long in the yesteryears of the TBL. So you know, I think
Yep,
and switching ownership again because this is the third GM with this team, correct?
correct. Yeah,
So
Jason won two championships in the first 6 seasons and then departed. And Sean just had did get the division championship there and division crown last year, but yeah, Myth will be taking over as the third GM for Atlanta. So a lot she can do depending on what you want to do with these players.
yeah,
Could do a fire sale, or it sounds like he signs a couple of free agents this offseason. I know there's mention of that in the chat. See who. Always good at finding that quickly. Oh, it's like Dennis Lemke was brought in from Kingston. So Lemke's been, a really good player out there for the Frontenacs his entire career. Let's see if he transitions well. The 7-time All-Star. Um, again, though, looking at financial situation of the Smashers, like a bunch of people on expiring contracts, 168 million in payroll, and then next year, 49 million in payroll locked up.
yeah. I see.
So
I
like
see.
everybody's coming off.
I see total money available 3 million. Money for extensions 113 million. So yeah, I
Yeah,
guess if you're going to be taking over a brand new team, that's the way you're going to want to do it. So
yeah. So I mean, once we hit the trade deadline, Myth might be looking. I don't know, put Orta or Gross or any of these guys on the market for a contending team and getting a big haul. If Atlanta's not in contention, right? Because
Yeah,
I
I
mean, some of
mean,
these
yeah,
guys are pretty good.
I guess I would play this team out and see what's going to happen in the first couple sims, definitely, and see what's going to happen with it, and then definitely, well, people aren't
I think you
stupid.
hit the point, right? Like, there's a ton of flexibility
Yeah,
as a
ton.
new GM. Like, you can try to go for it. You can go for the rebuild, right? So
Yeah, because
a lot of choice.
I don't think Myth's got the division because, like you said, we've spoiler alert, we think Denver's got it. So you know,
Correct. I don't
so
even know if this is the top three team in my eyes, but we'll
yeah, we'll
we'll
get
wrap that
there.
up.
But
Yep.
they could be in
Um,
contention, barring
yes.
situations, injury situations, I'd call it.
Yep. All right. And our last team in the division last year was Tampa Bay and Cole's team. And again, I mentioned right at the beginning of this part of the division, but like, Cole went from having a really great season last year, second place, and then having a not so great season last year. And he's mentioned in chat a little disappointing in the way results turned out.
Yeah,
Again, that 2000 or that version switch opinion can throw a wrench in things. I thought I was going to be winning the division ever since Chris, but
yeah.
little did I mean, first year in 25, but little did I know I'm still a terrible GM. So,
Yeah, little do we know, you're still that bad. Yeah, we knew it. We all knew it all along.
what do you think of Cole's team?
I think he's in a tough spot. I think, because he went from having a playoff team, you know, to a 60-win team. So he's probably in that head scratcher mode where like, what do I do here? Because who knows if he decided to lock some players up. So I mean, his best player on the position rankings are Matt Purdy and Justin Marshall. On Meat's team, it would be Justin Marshall. It's his number one player, so I like him as a left fielder. It's a
Yeah, he's
lot.
been a two-time All-Star since he
Yeah,
came into
it's
the league, like
stud.
like every year. And
And he's
even though he
got
has no work ethic, but sometimes you're just that talented.
then you got Purdy, who's a three-time All Star, two-time Silver Slugger. So
Yeah, Purdy's been really nice. Very good piece.
and he's got Corey Kimball in his pitching lineup. I think he's missing the back end of his pitching staff, and I think that's where it's probably getting the best of him.
And I feel like Kimball is a little too bad actually. Looking at his history, he's a nice piece.
Pitcher of the
Signed
year
him in
in 2008.
signed him in free agency this year, so that was a nice pickup.
So we shall see with this team. I
I
mean,
agree with you.
it's like
Sorry, yep. Go ahead. Sorry to say that delay.
it's just a tough one to call with him because you don't really know because he made the playoffs one year. Oh, he's 69 wins in 2008, but he took over in 2009 and made the playoffs. And now he's a
Yeah,
62 win team, so it's difficult to do. I wouldn't know what to do in this position either. I'd
that
probably
was the
burn the
year
whole
that
thing. I'd probably burn the
that
whole
was the
thing
year.
down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I might too. I might too. 'Cause there's just not enough good pieces, right? Like there's some pretty stacked teams.
Yeah,
I yeah, that 2009 season where he got second place again, I feel like it was kind of fluky. Like he didn't expect to be that good. Like he was coming off of inheriting that team. Actually, that was his first season in the league, and um, coming off the last place finish from the previous GM, and I think overachieved his expectations and definitely. And then last year kind of crashed back down to earth. So I don't know. We'll see if he can start to rebuild his team in the right direction, or if he's going to shell off some of these features. Like Marshall's like super young, right? You could build around that guy maybe. Matt Purdy's about to hit 30, so I think he's somebody you try to flip. And I don't know. Does he have anything in the system? He does. He's got a nice system. He's got the number one overall prospect, Colin Shevlin, who's starting to develop, which is always nice to see.
You always like seeing it when it's no longer 20 over 80. I love it when I see 25 over 80. I'm like, all right, he's moving along.
And it does kind of show like how shallow pitching is. Like Eddie Parisi here, he's going to be on the roster season. I bet he's 50 or 55 overall relief pitcher, but he's a top 100 prospect.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think?
I think it's time to rank him.
Salaries. Just gonna look at salaries real quick. Matt Purdy locked up for 4 years. There's actually an opt clause after 2012, but he's getting paid pretty good in 13 and 14, so he may opt to stay. Corey Kimball's getting paid 25 million a year. That's a good chunk of change.
It's worth it.
Maybe, maybe. I mean, he took a huge dev hit when we went to this season. Actually, his rating dropped like 10 points.
I don't care.
Yeah, we'll see.
Worth it.
We'll see. I have trauma. Jose Rosario, several others.
Okay.
But yeah, outside of that, Winfield's on a everything else is pretty much expiring. He's got like a third baseman who's kind of journeyman locked up for a few mil. So Roland Rodriguez, 2 seasons. A lot of flexibility.
Yes, agreed. So.
But yeah, I rank him first.
You rank him.
Perfect.
I know.
And damn, this is tough. Except for Denver.
Except for Denver.
Not too tough. Yeah, we'll give Denver the benefit of the doubt. I think Las Vegas did build a really nice team. I think I'm gonna put them second. I think I'm gonna put Galveston third. I'm gonna put Fort Collins fourth. I'm gonna put Atlanta fifth. Um, Tampa sixth. New Orleans seventh.
I agree.
Do you really?
I'm just pulling to you.
Oh,
No,
that's too bad.
I know. But I do agree.
Not even
Denver.
better.
I do agree. Denver first. I'm gonna go Galveston second. Las
Okay.
Vegas third.
Yep.
Um, Fort Collins fourth. Atlanta fifth. Yeah. Yeah, basically the same as you.
Yeah, we were so close. So our whole ice conference is off by Galveston, Las Vegas.
Yep.
If we get this right, Chris, we're fucking geniuses.
Place
So,
your
you know.
bets now. Place your bets now.
Yep. All right. Let's so playoff teams. We got 4 from one side, 2 from the other, 2 from one. What do you get going on?
I got. So
So
we.
again, I'll remind you, your top 3 or 4 in each division. You got New York, Washington, Boston, Somerville, and you've got Denver, Galveston, Las Vegas, Fort
So
Collins.
I'm gonna have. Ooh.
So I mean, you've got New York in, you've got Denver in,
I'm
you've
gonna
got
go.
Galveston in,
I'm gonna get
you've got
Boston.
Washington in.
Boston's in,
Okay.
and Galveston's in.
You already have him second,
Oh
so
wait, I
it
mean,
would be Somerville, Las Vegas, Fort Collins.
Las Vegas is in. I'm in.
All right. So yeah, 1 from each.
Yep, one from each.
Cool. So I would go. I've got between the choice of Galveston, Fort Collins, Boston, and Somerville as well. Oh no, I'm Galveston, and you don't. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Boston. And I'm gonna go with Galveston, and of course, something's not gonna be right there. We will see. Who do you got winning the ice conference, Chris?
Denver,
Denver. All right.
giving them the
I'm gonna go New
curse.
York. I'm gonna go New York with back to the championship.
New York back to the championship.
Yeah. All right. Wrap this thing up.
Alrighty. Well, this is yeah. We'll wrap this up. We're done. Done the ice
We'll come back.
conference.
We'll come back with the fire conference at some point.
Yes, we will. come back with a fire conference. We're going to drop the file. Have a great night, everybody.